Hi, Source. This is a table. I heard someone ask, what is this? This is a table, in case you're wondering. I'm just kidding. Tonight's gonna be super chill. You guys can keep passing the buckets. Giving your offerings. Thank you, Ashlyn. Okay, first, because it clanged and made a really bad noise. Guys, look at my cute new Stanley. Okay, listen. I was a hater, an avid hater for a really long time until yesterday. So
now she's just a white girl.
Yup, proudly. But you know what? I don't like pumpkin spice lattes, and I think that may be his favorite thing on planet Earth.
I've had 2, and they came out yesterday, so.
You
gotta own it.
All right. Well, if you were here last week, we started our new series called We Are Family, and it ends today. It's just a 2-week series. But this was kind of our vision series. I've never preached sitting down. This is weird. This is our vision series for the year. And so last week we touched on the importance of walking through life with one another, praying with one another, and celebrating accomplishments with one another. And we kind of looked at the story of the Wall of Jericho and how they did that together, right? They marched around it together, they cried out to God together, and then they celebrated with one another. And how, like I said, being a family is one of our core values here at The Source. If you're new, we have 3. We say them really often. Does anyone want to shout them out? We're family. Thank you. We are obsessed with our Creator, and we are light. And so we try and hit on those super often, but tonight we're focusing on We Are Family, and how something that we really want to lean into for this year with you guys is this idea that no one does life alone. But that can't just come from something that I want. Like, I don't want you guys to walk through life alone. But there's a lot of you, and I would love to walk with all of you, but sometimes that's hard. And how Caleb can't walk with everyone together. And how it just can't be some of the students in here who are saying, yeah, we don't want to walk through life alone, but this has to be something that we all walk out. And so that's a little recap of last week. What are we going to talk about this week?
So this week, as she briefly mentioned, we're going to hit on how we can live out actually being a family, because it's all fun and games to be like, yeah, we're family, but like to actually live it out is a completely different thing, and how to actually put it into practice, put your money where your mouth is. So small groups, the really whole heart behind it is it's time for you guys to build a community within yourselves. It's time for you guys to break up into people that are the same age as you, have similar life experiences as you, and are really walking through hopefully things that you're also walking through, so you guys can really just bond and get a time where you can show up on a Wednesday or even on Sundays and be like, these are my people. Like, I want to see these people. Mm-hmm. And there's moments where you don't, but like, we
and maybe even outside of church.
And maybe even outside of church.
All right. Did you have anything more?
No.
Okay. All right. If you would open to Acts chapter 2, we are going to be looking at a couple of verses here that I think really set the tone for what we should be doing. But to give you some context, Acts chapter 2, the end of chapter 2, Jesus has died on the cross. He has risen from the grave, and he has now left and ascended into heaven and let his spirit fall upon the early church. And so that's kind of what we're talking about. And so we see something very interesting that these people do that we kind of want to dive into. So verse 42 says, they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching, to the fellowship, to the breaking of bread, and to prayer. Then skip to verse 46. It says, every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes, and they ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all people. And the Lord added to their numbers daily to those who were being saved. So we see here, these people just got filled with the Spirit of God, and they are eating with one another. They are in the temple courts, which is kind of like the lobby, maybe, of like our church today. And they are having a meal together. They're hanging out. They're having fellowship. They're praying with one another. And we see that, one, it's great that they're doing that, but we see that Jesus modeled this for them before he left, right? Before he died, they had a meal called the Last Supper. And they were celebrating Passover. And we see that though, yeah, Jesus discussed some really deep stuff, like one of you is going to betray me and like I'm going to die and like all that fun stuff, super sad. They had a great time together, right? They still found time to eat with one another and to share community with one another.
Yeah, and as she mentioned, it alludes back to the Last Supper, but it also, we can look throughout the entirety of the Bible. If we look all the way back to Genesis in the beginning, God says it is not good for man to be alone. He noticed that Adam, he was the only man. He said it's not good for him to be alone. And if we're just reading through our Bible and we're trying to do our Bible in the year and whatever, we can look at that and be like, yeah, that makes sense. It's not good for him to be alone. But if we look through all of the events leading up to that, when God created light, when he created earth, when he created water, everything that he created, he said, and it is good. But when he noticed that man was alone, that was the first time God ever said, this isn't a good thing. So he made Eve and he made fellowship. And we see that highlighted in the importance of it throughout the entirety of the Bible, the fact that man should not be alone.
Mm-hmm. Which doesn't just mean a girlfriend or boyfriend.
No.
Sometimes that's bad.
Keep your hands to yourself, no purple. But we see the importance of fellowship, and we see how throughout the Bible, most of the time when man is alone, they do something stupid. So I think it's easier for us to do life together if we really focus on the importance of that.
Yeah, and something that I found true in my life, and I know you have, and honestly, this was a thought that Pastor TJ and I talked about. He was like, I love this idea. Would you share this with the source? And it's this. It's that when you do Christian community well, it builds friendships that last a lifetime. When you do Christian community well, it builds friendships that last a lifetime. Now, this is something I have kind of talked to you guys about, and I'm very honest about. I talk to one person from high school, like twice a year. We catch up on like Christmas and in July. So I don't talk to her very often. It's kind of my only friend from high school.
I only have 3 left.
You've got 3, but
a lot.
I do have this friend from middle school, and her name's Natalie, and I met her in church. It's where I know her from, and I've moved like 3 times since then. She's gone off. She went to Southeastern for college, and so our lives very much haven't aligned like where we're at physically, but because our relationship was built in Jesus, it's one that's lasted. And in fact, last week we got to have a great conversation. She's moving back, and about churches, what are some good ones in the area. She's learning to find a new church family, and every time she's home from school, we get lunch, and I truly believe that relationship has lasted and not my high school ones because it was built in Christian community well. And so we are going to do just that today. We're going to build Christian community in our small groups. But before we do small groups, I have a list for you guys. I think it's up there. Maybe.
And
there it is. Okay, we're going to go through this list, and then we're going to break off into our small groups. So the first thing on the list, be present. One of the biggest things of building Christian community is you have to be present, or honestly, building any community. And this is something I was really convicted of probably around January time. I came here for college, and then I ended up just moving here and staying with you guys, which I love it. And I kind of just assumed that relationships I saw once a week, twice a week, were enough to fill me. I was like, yeah, I'm an introvert. I don't need people. Well, I was wrong, okay? I found myself in a really lonely place, but I found the community doesn't just naturally come around you. You have to seek it out. And so here we're saying, okay, we need community. We want to live with one another. We want to not do life alone. Well, that can only happen if you show up. That can only happen if you're present. That can only happen if you decide, oh, I'm going to come to the source even after a long day, or even after I failed my test, or even after, I don't know, maybe you don't want to come. Sometimes I always want to come to the source.
Sometimes you don't want to see that one person.
But sometimes I don't want to come to church, okay? Sue me. I get paid for it, right? It's my job. But it's really early in the morning, and I'm not a morning person. I get really cranky in the morning. And sometimes after a long Saturday, it's hard to be like, you know what? I want to wake up and I want to go be with people. But I know that that's something that the Lord calls us into. So sometimes I have to sacrifice my own desires and do it anyways. Yeah?
And just drink a lot of coffee.
Just drink a lot of coffee. I have one at home, and then I have one when I get here. Amen.
And while being present is important, showing up, we get to see your beautiful and wonderful faces. That's not all. that there is. Showing up's half the battle. The other half of the battle is being active, actually doing things,
Y'all,
and
imagine.
going on with that. And speaking of which, small groups was a pretty incremental part of what we did when I was a student. And every time I think of small groups, or I think back to my time in small groups, which was over a decade ago, because we're old now, I can think back to there's one individual in middle school. His name was Jordan Petrie, and Alex can vouch for me on this. Alex and I went to the same middle school, or same youth group, and we went to the same small group. This kid, Jordan Petrie, every single time our youth leader was like, what did you guys think of the message? Like, how was it? Every single time his answer was, it was deep, in his little awkward middle school like crack voice. So every time. So the rest of us, all 10 of us, would be like, every time, be like, it was deep, it was good. But the importance of that, and the whole reason of the story is, out of every 5 to 10 it was deeps, we got one good answer. So even though it was kind of dumb, it was funny, his random little, it was deep, we got to a good answer. So even if you don't have something great to say, I'm going to take that back. Always have something great to say. It's better to be the first person to speak up than to hope someone else does it, because it always led to a good conversation at some point.
Yeah, and you're gonna get out of it what you put into it. And so if you sit there and you don't say anything, you're not gonna get anything out of it. You gotta be active. And last, but certainly not least, you have to listen. Wow, who would have thought? And listening looks like a lot of different things. But Caleb, you had a really good thought when we were talking about this. So do you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, so I'm sure you guys have heard this before, where it's like you're listening, but you don't hear me. And it's easy to tell people to listen. It's easy to say, look at me when I'm talking to you, but it's hard to get people to actually hear and understand you. And I think, especially in a small group context where it's all of our friends or people that we might not even know, when you hear people around you laughing at something that could be completely unrelated, it could be about the dumbest thing in the world, and it could be off-putting to somebody who actually wants to share and they don't know what you're laughing at. They feel like they're laughing at you because you said something. But it could translate to laughing at a comment that was made in the circle. So actively listening to people shows you that, one, that you care, two, that you actually want to be there with them, and three, that what they have to say is worth listening to. It makes them feel seen and heard, and that's, again, really important.
Yeah, and I feel like on the kind of a flip side of it, listening is like being quiet and actually like letting someone talk. But I think another big part of listening is actually hearing what they're saying in your mind. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'll get into a conversation with someone and my mind is just elsewhere. It's about the task list that I have to get done. It's about the Chick-fil-A I'm gonna get after the conversation's over. It's about literally anything else except for the conversation that I'm having. And no matter how good you think you are at controlling your face, 99.9 times out of 100, I was gonna say 10. Out of 100, they can tell that you're not fully hearing what they're saying.
She can vouch for that.
Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys some tips, I guess, for lack of better words, that when someone is talking to you, when someone is sharing in the group, something that's really good is replying, right? Listening leads to replying. And that means that when Jeremiah is pouring his heart out, I'm not in my head, I'm giving him or I actually have something to say back to him, right? Because then one, he notices that I'm actually processing what he's saying. I'm caring enough to listen to him. And then with that, your feedback could, one, be helpful, but two, it carries on the conversation. And so as we go into small groups here in the next few seconds, I want you guys to just be reminded of these things, have them on the forefront of your mind. Be present, show up, be active, take part in the conversation, and listen well to what others are saying. Be respectful when someone is talking. So, on that note,
let's get into our small groups.
Let's do small groups. So, my leaders don't know this, so I'm sorry, I'm throwing you a curveball. But I want you guys to come up here and show your small group where you're gonna go. So fun. So, if you are a middle school boy, your leaders for this year are Brandon Orr, Aiden West, Aiden Carver.
Aiden West.
Sorry. Chris Brown, Teo, and Daniel's not here tonight. Daniel will be back next week. Can you guys
R.I.P.
come on
Daniel.
up? Come up, come up, come up. All right.
Come to the front.
Oh, just
Is it just
Aiden.
you?
Oh, Teo's upstairs.
Teo's coming down.
All right. Do you want to take? You guys are gonna meet under the screen over there. Aiden, go get your boys.
Don't break the camera stuff.
Go ahead, middle school boys. So you have to stand up. Middle school boys, stand up
The key to going there
and
is
walk
getting up.
over there. Wow, way to represent.
6th through 8th grade.
There we go.
That's all of you?
There we go. All right, if you are a middle school girl, your leaders are Tina Orr, Ashlyn Carver, Bobby Hurdle, and Bella. You can come up, and then you guys can stand up and go under the other screen. That's where you will be meeting. All right, we're gonna jump to seniors. Ooh, this got interesting. Do you want to say the leaders for the seniors?
I can. So, if you are a senior in the room, your leaders are Amos Nisley,
Yo.
Amy Nisley,
Woo.
Michelle Walters, Steve Walters,
Oh.
Diana Otero, and Alex Clark.
Wow, what a fire group.
You guys got the whole squad.
Okay, you guys are gonna be out in the lobby to the right. Seniors,
Get out of here.
Belva, you are a senior. All right, 11th
You are
grade.
lying.
You're, what? You're not a senior.
I know you're not.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to you yet. I'm doing it right now. Oh. Okay. 11th grade, we have Brian Shepard, Deidre Shepard, Mike Miller, Beth Nicholson, and Pastor TJ. All right. If you are a junior, go outside to the left in the lobby. Love you all. Goodbye. Yeah.
What are we doing, 9th or 10th next?
Let's do 10th next.
10th? That's a good idea.
Okay. 10th grade.
If you are a sophomore, your leaders are Brandon and Andy West.
No longer a freshie.
Woo! Russell Harden, Kendra Stacks.
Let's go.
Sierra and Ken.
Oh. All right. If you are a sophomore, everyone go to the back of the room, wherever Brandon is pointing.
Into the corner.
Follow your leader. All right. If you're a freshman,
Freshies.
you're stuck with us. All right, freshmen, your group is Caleb, myself, Wilmer, Chad Nelson, and Julia Infante.
The Power Squad.
We're gonna be back by the snack bar. Let's
the
go.
other corner.
All right, all of my small groups. You guys have, your leaders have a game that you are going to be playing, but Julia is going to be walking around to come and grab your class pictures. So when she is there, listen to her.